One question has been on my mind lately. Where are all the Godzilla games? Now, let me take you back just a little bit here. Not to seem all old and everything, and not to seem like, back in my day and pull that whole card, but back in my day, Godzilla was on VHS. I watched these movies growing up as a kid, and this is how I got into Godzilla, thanks to my cousins, different family members getting me into them. I ended up getting my mom to buy me some of the VHSs, yada yada. Grew up with Godzilla, and it's why I'm a huge fan of the franchise today. But back then, whenever you were a fan of Godzilla, you couldn't really, go around talk. He wasn't mainstream yet. He wasn't mainstream enough. He was mainstream to me, and I really enjoyed him, but, looking back, I know that, if I would have went around talking about him in school, probably would have been called weird, or that just wasn't what people were into back in the day. And if you found a person that was a Godzilla fan as well, then that was more of a rarity. And then Godzilla 1998 came along and tried to bring him into the mainstream in America and stuff, and I don't think it did a good enough job as to do that, but they did get some toys released, and kids were playing with the Zilla toy, and so was I. I was a big fan of that movie whenever I was a kid, I'm not even gonna lie. But now, in 2025, thanks to stuff like Godzilla vs. Kong and the current MonsterVerse as it is, and even thanks to -1 for putting more Americans' faces in front of Godzilla. I have friends that have 5-year-old kids that have Godzilla toys now and stuff, and he is more mainstream now than he has ever been. And I think it's really beautiful to see. I go into stores like Target and I flip through the posters, and there, lo and behold, there's a Godzilla poster or a MonsterVerse poster of some kind. He's everywhere now, and it's really cool to see, especially considering I grew up with him back then, and to see him get this recognition, get an award for -1, and all of this stuff, it's really cool to see. But one part of the entertainment industry with Godzilla that I think is really, really lacking right now, and it doesn't really make sense because he's so mainstream, and so it's why hasn't it happened more? And that is Godzilla in video games. Now, back in the day, Pipeworks came out with the Godzilla Destroy All Monsters game that went on to be Save the Earth and Godzilla Unleashed on Nintendo Wii, and I played the heck out of those as a kid. Now, this video isn't one of those, why hasn't Pipeworks remastered their game yet? Well, just like a lot of remasters for games today, where a new company takes over and does it from the ground up. I'm pretty sure that's what happened with the Mafia games, where, a new company actually made these new definitive editions of Mafia 1 and 2, where it is not the original company remastering the game. And those games, man, the fact that they built them from the ground up again is really, really cool to see. I'm not talking about Pipeworks remastering the games. Now, would that be cool to see all 3 of those remastered again? Sure, I just personally, it could happen. I mean, stranger things have happened in modern day. Stranger things have happened in these current times with entertainment. Things get remastered that we never even imagined would get remastered, but the Pipeworks games to be remastered, I think, is a longer stretch than just literally making current Godzilla video games that could be based off of those games. It's not like an IP that they specifically have. It's Toho. It's Legendary right now sharing Godzilla. Why not make a legendary MonsterVerse game? Even though I'd rather see something from Toho, all the Japanese stuff, but I'll take it. I would love a MonsterVerse game where you get to be Godzilla, be different monsters, fight each other, or some kind of story-based game. Now, what was that recent thing with Kong that was Kong Survival? Let me look this up real quick. Kong Survivor Instinct, and I heard nothing but bad things about it, even though it looked cool. I actually like the idea of a kind of a side-scroller game for Kong. I'm down for more Kong games, combine the two, or I'm just surprised that Legendary hasn't jumped on the opportunity to somehow get a company to make a Godzilla vs. Kong game. Now, I've heard rumors of that kind of game coming out before, maybe here and there, there was some companies that were wanting to make it, and I don't know if it's just something that, you know, like a normal situation where games get started but don't finish because the company kind of goes bankrupt or something. Like, I do believe this Godzilla vs. Kong game that was being made was, like, going to be pretty close after Godzilla vs. Kong came out, and Godzilla vs. Kong itself has already been a few years even after getting pushed. Now, I understand the Japanese side of everything with the Toho monsters, and to make it like the Pipeworks games again with all the Toho monsters and stuff, I can understand that having to do more work to get something like that off the ground, okay? But Godzilla, due to the MonsterVerse, is more mainstream than ever, and you know that if a Godzilla and Kong style game comes out now, I don't know if it'll go crazy numbers or anything, but there will be even kids that are like 7 years old right now wanting to play that. I have coworkers of mine at my job that have kids that are like 5 years old that love Godzilla, play with the toys. Like, they watch their mom and dad play video games, and they play video games as well. They love Godzilla, even when it's something like -1. They just like to see the monster on screen. I just think it's a missed opportunity. What do you guys think, though, in the comments? I want to know y'all's thoughts about where we're at in the gaming industry with Godzilla games. Why haven't we seen more? Am I the only one? Am I the only one questioning this? I'm sure a lot of you out there that are watching this video have had the same question, and there's a lot of great potential out there. Video games coming out. There's this new Split Fiction that's out, that's like, you know, from the people of It Takes Two, and like all kinds of games every year now are coming out that are, a lot of them probably with great potential and probably good. I want to play a Godzilla fighting game again, even if it's like a fighting game that has a decent, even just a decent story. I want to play it. I want to play as Godzilla or Kong. I want to play a modern day, decent graphics, Godzilla and Kong going head to head, other monsters, get to unlock other monsters. You know, I don't understand why somebody hasn't made something that's like close to like Pipeworks. Now, I know they've done a pretty good job with scratching that itch a little bit with Gigabash. Now, Gigabash is like its own sort of game that's not like tied in with Godzilla, but they did tie it in with Godzilla by adding him as a additional thing you can buy, and you can get like Destroya and like all these other monsters. That's really cool, okay? But where's just the Godzilla IP itself being used as its own thing? Now, maybe there's some information I don't know about. Maybe there's stuff that's like a little bit more complicated with Toho, where they, you know, they're not like allowing too many Godzilla games to be made. I don't know. That is a shot in the dark. I have no idea. I don't have any insider information on any of this. I'm just a guy literally rambling to a microphone. Whatever. I can wait. I can wait for a good one, but please just make one. Like, where is it? It doesn't have to be, I'm not asking for the Pipeworks remastered. No, that would be cool. That would be epic. But you know how we get the Pipeworks remastered, guys? Can you guess? You know how we get it? Get someone else to make a really good Godzilla game that's mainstream and makes a good amount of money, and then, guess what? We might be looking at a Pipeworks remastered because that gets more eyeballs on stuff like that. That's how that works. When you take an IP and make a brand new version of itself, then old stuff can get remastered. That's how that works. We all know, like the King Kong video game from back in the day, Peter Jackson's movie game, phenomenal, and I'm pretty sure that game did well for back then too. So it can be done. It can be done. Godzilla, Kong games, like the Kong Survival Instinct thing had so much potential. I haven't played it, so I can't really say for myself like if it's good or bad. I've just heard only bad things. But I was hoping for it to be that thing that kicks off like, okay, yeah, they're starting to make like MonsterVerse games. Like, that's amazing. All right, like, I'll take a MonsterVerse game over a Jurassic Park game, like that new Jurassic Park horror game. I mean, that looks really good, and I'm a Jurassic Park fan. But where's our Godzilla love, you know? All right, guys, that's it for me. I'm done rambling. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. I just want to play a Godzilla game, man. That's on like PS5 or Xbox. I would be, you know, super excited about it, and I'm sure you could say the same. I'm sure you all agree, so let me know what you think in the comments, guys. And as always, keep your neighborhood friendly, and you guys will talk to me in this next video. Love you guys. God bless. Be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon.